This week we're going to be starting a new series. The main point of the series is to take Rabbi Zamir Cohen's Hebrew lectures and translate them to English. We're going to start with this week's Parasha. The Parashat Shoftim, speaks about the requirement that the Jewish nation has that everywhere they go, they must make for themselves judges and officers that will enforce the law. And the Torah tells the judges that they must chase justice, that every single form of bribery could change their whole perspective. The Gemara speaks about a story where a rabbi was going to the court case, and all of a sudden he feels a hand on his shoulder. He realizes it's somebody taking a feather from his garment. As he enters the court, he realizes that this guy is the plaintiff. He decides, I have nothing to do with this court case. He does not want to deal with a case where he might have a small tendency towards one of the two people. And the Torah over here teaches us that even the slightest form of bribery could change one's perspective completely. Rabbi Zamir says we should apply this to the biggest investigation of mankind. The biggest question that one must ask himself is, why am I on this planet? Is there a creator? Is there a purpose? So, naturally speaking, our biggest bribery is to say there is no creator. Because if there's a creator, that means I'm a creation, and that means that I'm subordinate to the creator. So when we get into this investigation, our default is to say there is no creator. And with that, we understand really the requirement of the Torah that we look at the world as a judge and not as a lawyer. A lawyer doesn't really matter to him what the truth is. He's getting paid by one of the two parties, and his job is to make sure that his party wins the case. When a judge takes a case, he has to be completely objective. Now the Parasha continues and speaks about the requirement, Shotrim titen lecha bekol sharecha, that you make officers in each of your gates. And the commentators explain that a bit of a deeper meaning to this is the gates, that through that we get inputs, our senses, our vision, our ears that hear, our mouth that speaks, and we have to make for ourselves officers. That means that we have to find a way to stop things from entering through these gates. Because as we know, any input that we bring into our mind is very hard to uproot afterwards. A small example. A person could have someone that he really honored and appreciated. All of a sudden he hears someone speaking badly about him, and the information entered his mind, then entered his heart. It becomes very, very hard for him to see the person in that same light that there was beforehand. Another common example, when a person's walking in the street and he sees something, or it could even be on his phone, that bothers him, an improper view of something that he shouldn't have seen, it could change his whole day, ruin his whole energy, ruin his house and many other things. So we have to learn that the wisdom of the Jewish nation throughout history was not to be the mighty warrior who could look at anything and hear anything and not be affected. We have to know that God made us with human beings. As a human being, we have good and bad. The bad is powerful, sometimes stronger, and we have to learn how to make officers within ourselves, how to make judges. And that is the best advice we can get as we come closer to the big day of Rosh Hashanah, the day where God decides everything for our next year. With that, wishing everyone a Shabbat Shalom.